The CEO of Ford recently addressed the challenges and controversies surrounding the shift to electric cars, describing it as a political football. In a bid to keep up with the changing times, Ford has committed to transitioning all its European sales to electric vehicles by 2030, along with a hefty $1 billion investment to transform a Cologne plant into its first European electric vehicle facility. Join us as we dig into the realm of electrification, Ford's vision, and its one-of-a-kind relationship with Tesla. Electrifying commitments. Ford CEO Jim Farley put it well when he called the switch to electric cars a political football. Many big car companies, like Ford, have said they will stop making gasoline and diesel cars and only make electric cars from now on. This is a very important moment in the history of the auto business. This change not only represents a big shift in technology and concern for the environment, but also a complicated mix of politics, rules, and business goals. The way Jim Farley described it shows that the switch to EVs is not just a change in technology, but also a social and political process that involves many people's worries, from governments and environmentalists to businesses and consumers. Ford has big plans to make all of its cars sold in Europe electric by 2030. To support these plans, the company is investing $1 billion to turn a plant in Cologne into its first European EV factory. This move shows that the big car company wants to be at the forefront of the electric change, giving people cleaner and more environmentally friendly ways to get around. As part of this massive transformation, Ford is not only changing its product line but also the way it makes things. This is in line with a larger trend in the industry toward more electric vehicles. Ford wants to stay competitive and help with the larger goal of lowering carbon emissions by making smart investments in the European market, where the use of electric vehicles is growing. This promise shows how business leaders like Ford are handling the complicated world of electric mobility, making sure their plans are in line with the changing needs of a public that cares more and more about the environment and the future of transportation. Ford's CEO speaks out. Ford CEO Jim Farley recently delivered a speech in which he voiced his dismay at the politicization of electric cars. The difficulties Farley describes are shared by the automobile industry as a whole, which must deal with rapid technical change, growing environmental awareness, and unpredictable political climate. Indeed, the shift toward EVs has taken on a very political component, with governments, environmental organizations, and industry actors all debating the merits of proposed rules and financial incentives. Farley's forthright comments illustrate the growing intertwining of political and social factors in the car industry, which had hitherto been preoccupied primarily with engineering and design. Jim Farley's statement added a personal dimension to the issue at hand by going beyond just voicing his worries. He spoke about taking the F-150 Lightning throughout the western United States, where he met many other people who are interested in electric vehicles. He got to see the rising interest in electric cars among customers for himself, thanks to this hands-on experience. To illustrate that the EV revolution is about more than simply technology and laws, Farley's trip in the F-150 Lightning highlights the importance of considering the experiences, desires, and ambitions of the people who are adopting these new modes of transportation. Farley's recognition of Tesla's extraordinary achievement in focusing on electric cars and becoming a profitable powerhouse is another evidence of the revolutionary company's impact on the market. The fact that Ford is working with Tesla to provide customers access to the Tesla supercharger network exemplifies the industry's rising trend of cooperation and partnerships to construct charging infrastructure, a crucial factor in speeding EV adoption. Ford's dedication to offering creative solutions and adjusting to changing consumer expectations is shown by Farley's promise that the next generation of electric and internal combustion cars will astound consumers. This is part of a larger attempt by the automobile industry to satisfy a wide range of consumer tastes as it makes the transition to electric cars. The political debate. Jim Farley and other executives in the auto industry have spoken out in favor of electric vehicles, but former President Donald Trump has been outspoken in his opposition to the technology. even going so far as to claim that it is responsible for the loss of employment. There is a larger ideological gap in American politics that Trump's position reflects, since talks regarding the shift to electric cars often collide with worries about the economy and jobs. His apprehensions about the effects of becoming all-electric on companies are indicative of a view that considers the monetary implications of such a revolutionary change in the automobile industry. The Republican Party has also adopted the slogan "Go Woke, Go Broke" to suggest that supporting electric automobiles might have adverse economic effects. The economic and social security of those whose livelihoods rely on the current model of automobile production are called into question by this perspective. However, it must be noted that this position was tested in a very real manner when people of California were requested to refrain from charging electric cars during peak energy demand hours in order to avert blackouts. The possible difficulties in making the switch to an all-electric future were highlighted by this circumstance, highlighting the need of investing in a strong infrastructure to accommodate the rising demand for electric cars. It also demonstrated the complexity of making the switch to electric cars and the need for forethought, investment in infrastructure, and customer education. Concerns regarding fairness in the shift to electric transportation were raised when some drivers reported experiencing financial hardships after being told to restrict charging, highlighting the need for a holistic strategy to guarantee that all drivers can enjoy the advantages of EV adoption. The larger context of the discussion over electric cars includes several viewpoints, such as political, economic, and practical ones, making it a complex topic requiring careful examination of a wide range of factors. Biden's electric vision. President Biden's unwavering support for electric vehicles, EVs, has emerged as a cornerstone of his administration's environmental and economic policies. President Biden has set ambitious aims to accelerate the transition to electric mobility as part of his strong commitment to tackling climate change and encouraging American ingenuity. His government has set a lofty goal of making electric vehicles account for 50% of all new car sales in the United States by the end of the decade. This statement not only demonstrates his commitment to decreasing carbon emissions, but it also emphasizes the necessity of bringing forward the clean energy revolution, generating employment, and strengthening the nation's energy security. Furthermore, President Biden has taken a prominent position in favor of workers' rights, being the first president of the United States to attend a UAW, United Auto Workers, picket line during his term. This show of labor unity has reaffirmed his commitment to better working conditions, fair salaries, and the right to collective bargaining. It reflects his wider vision for America, in which economic development and environmental sustainability are inextricably linked, and the workforce is an essential partner in accomplishing these objectives. President Biden's initiatives demonstrate a holistic approach to solving the issues of our day as he attempts to lead the country toward a more sustainable and fair future by campaigning for both EVs and workers' rights. CEO's reality check. There is no denying the polarization of opinion when it comes to EVs. Both advocates and detractors have been vocal about their own views. Jim Farley's time behind the wheel of a Ford F-150 Lightning is a powerful example of the practical difficulties and issues inherent with widespread EV use. As the head of a legendary American car maker, this encounter served as a reality check for him personally. By driving the F-150 Lightning, Farley experienced some of the same problems that prospective purchasers face as they consider making the switch to an electric car. Farley's voyage with his electric vehicle was marked in large part by the absence of a reliable charging network. While the market for electric vehicles has expanded rapidly, many still worry about not having easy access to charging stations, particularly in public areas. Public charging networks require significant development and extension to suit the demands of electric vehicle users, as shown by recent surveys revealing that over 21% of EV owners found themselves unable to depend on public charging. The relevance of charging infrastructure to the future of electric mobility is highlighted by Farley's personal experience, demonstrating the need to address this component of EV adoption. Consumers' ultimate choice. In a time when electric cars are hotly disputed, it's important to remember that consumer tastes and decisions will have a major impact on Ford's future and the automotive industry as a whole. Jim Farley emphasizes the essential idea that customers are the final arbiters of the market's direction. This claim remains unwavering in the face of opposing viewpoints, environmental concerns, and ever-evolving electric car technology. To remain responsive to its most important stakeholders, the people who drive and rely on these vehicles every day, Farley argues that the automotive industry must respect and respond to the diverse and evolving demands of consumers. Ford's strategy relies heavily on this customer-centric approach in order to succeed in the ever-changing car industry. What are your thoughts on the political debates surrounding electric vehicles? Do they influence your choices as a consumer?